All right, good morning, everybody. So this is just a quick video for my friends in section 15, the asynchronous section, just to kind of go through what we're going to be going over today. Today is Friday, January 21st, and it's kind of an important day, sort of setting the foundation for something that you're going to be working on throughout the semester. So I wanted to make sure that we had a chance to go over that and make sure that we're all kind of on the same page. So if you want to start with our uh, Google site, that's where we begin today. And if you go to the daily activities page, there's all kinds of stuff on here for you to look at for today. There's a quote from a really important article called Writing About Writing by Douglas Downs and Elizabeth Wardle. So the first step for today is to go ahead and do some writing about this little quote. And there's a Google document link here that you can join by clicking. And I have the quote here as well as a couple of prompts thinking about this idea of what the course actually is about, writing as the thing that we are studying in this course. So the quote sort of makes a distinction between the idea of researching writing and practicing writing, and how perhaps both of those things are the same thing. And so in this class, the idea that writing, the writing that you do, and thinking about writing as a field of study becomes the primary focus for what we're doing in a writing discipline, writing studies course. That's the important idea for today, and I'd like you to spend a couple of minutes just sharing your ideas about that on that Google document. After that, you're going to start drafting an outline, a script, if you will, for a short audio recording that you're going to do for a podcast episode. And this podcast is called the Writing About Writing podcast. And this is a podcast that you're going to be creating. And if you want to get, if you want a refresher on what the Writing About Writing podcast actually is, you can go to the homepage of our Google site. One sec, I got to get this guy out of the way. Oh my. You can go to a homepage of our Google site, and there is an audio introduction to the Writing About Writing podcast. I went to see a shaman in a Bushwick apartment. So you can listen to my little continue through that piece of music, and you'll get to the introduction to the podcast about what it kind of is. And then for today, you're going to be sort of starting the draft of your first episode. This article that is linked here, Wardle and Downs is Writing About Writing, teaching about writing, writing misconceptions, first year composition as introduction to writing studies, sort of outlines the framework that we're working through in this class. And you should use this article as a source for the first episode of your podcast as you begin to generate your own ideas about what your theory of writing is. Answering questions such as, should your writing be the thing that we are studying in this class? So the idea for today is to start writing a script that you can then record and read out loud on Anchor. That sort of explores this initial idea of, should writing be the thing that we are studying in this class? And maybe even tapping into some of your prior experiences about what other writing courses have been for you. What has the experience been in other classes that you've taken where it comes to the study of writing? You can create this Google document script in Google Documents, and then I would suggest that you add that script to your own portfolio in a separate page section of your own portfolio called the Writing About Writing podcast. If you take a quick look here at all my tabs that I have open, if you take a quick look here at my sample portfolio, there's a page here called My Writing About Writing podcast. And I've started to explain a little bit about what this project is. You should have a page on your portfolio called the Writing About Writing podcast. And this is where you will include your scripts and your drafts, your outlines, and ultimately the embedded audio recordings that you're going to do on Anchor, which we covered on Wednesday. So if you're still wondering about how to use Anchor and how to record a podcast, go back to Wednesday, January 19th on daily activities, and you'll get information about that. You can scroll down right here. There's a Padlet wall if you have any questions as you're working, some brief description or details about what you want to do for this little podcast episode and a sample podcast episode if you'd like to kind of hear what a really sort of like popular and well created podcast sounds like. This is a really interesting one about audioscapes and sound design. So that's the idea for today. As always, I'm around if you have questions. You can post them here on the Padlet wall. You can email me. But by the end of the day today, you want to make sure that you have a script or a draft of your first episode of the Writing About Writing podcast, and then maybe over the weekend you could record it and upload all of that to your portfolio. Thanks so much. I hope you have a great time working on this. Have some fun with it. It's really your ideas about writing and writing studies, and I would love for you to tap into some of the ideas that Wardle and Downs are working with in this article as well. Good luck.